I'll say yes, Lord, yes, to your will and to your way. I'll say yes, Lord, yes, I will trust you and obey. When your spirit speaks to me, with my whole heart I'll agree, and my answer will be yes. Lord, yes. Yes, Lord. I'm so thankful I said yes to you. Oh, glory. The joy of the Lord is my strength. Good morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to Java with Jan. I'm Jan, your hostess with the mostest, and I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. Glory. Ooh, like my scarf? A dear friend of mine gave this to me. She's such a sweetheart. Thank you, Miss Paula. You know who you are. I thank you so much. You know, I remember before I came east, before I came to the West Coast, I was concerned with the direction that I saw young people going in. And so the church that I was a member of, I went to the pastor and asked him if he would allow me to present an abstinence course. And that course, that teaching was for the young, for our youth ministry, and the youth, it was for ages 12 through 18. And I assembled the materials that I wanted to present, and made the presentation to him, and he agreed that it was good. And so my plan was to present that same program to the parents first, the same thing that I would be teaching the young people, because I wanted there to be a connection. The only difference was that in presenting the class, the teaching to the children, to the youth, it would be their parents would not be in attendance, because I wanted it to be free. I wanted the children to be able to speak freely without worrying what their parents would say. But I presented the program to the parents so that they would know what their children were being taught, and then they could discuss it in at home. Okay? And it was a 4-week program, and it worked very well. And I had a nurse to come in to talk about some things, a registered nurse. We had some professionals to come in to talk to our children about the consequences of of actions. Because see, there is a consequence, whether you think there is or not. You can't just do any and everything you want and there not be a consequence. It'll be a consequence of a blessing or a consequence of a cursing. And it'll be up to you to choose. I said all of that to say this. One of the materials that I distributed to the youth and their parents was a bookmark on your sexual exposure. Here it is. Okay? And when you look at this, it's like, if you are intimate with your spouse only, if you and your spouse have never been intimate with anyone before you got married, and it's just you two, your exposure will be one person. But now listen to this. If you have 3 partners, your exposure will actually be to 7 people. Because, see, you're not only being exposed to that individual at the time, you're also being exposed to the people that they have been with. So that number is, whew, is actually, well, no, before I give you the following numbers, let me move on. Let me move on. If you have been exposed to, if you have had 6 partners, you have been exposed to 63 people. If you have, listen to this, 8 partners, you have been exposed to 255 people. If you have had 10 partners, you have been exposed to 1,023 people. 1,023 people if you have been exposed to 10, if you have been intimate with 10 people. Think about that. That's a whole heck of a lot of, that's a whole heck of a lot of folks. This is why God said to keep that you are for your husband. That sex is to be between a husband and a wife, not a girlfriend and a boyfriend, not a this and a that, but a husband and his wife, her husband, and the two will become one flesh. And because it is to be experienced within the bounds of marriage. Because what you're doing is, for as those numbers increase, you never thought about it. You think you're only hooking up with one person, that person that you're with at that time. But no, you're exposing yourself to anybody else that they have been exposed to. That's a lot. So you think, and if you can't think of a number beyond the 10, listen to this. Let me shock you one more time. If you have had 12 partners, you have been exposed to 4,095 persons. Okay? Come on. That's a lot. But see, they don't talk to us about that. And how you get to this number is this way. It's 2 because it takes 2, right? Male and a female. And then you multiply that by, it's to the power of the power of the number of people that you have been exposed to. So 1 to the power to the power of 1 is 1. 2 to the power of 2 is 3. It's actually 4, but you subtract yourself 1. That's where you get the 3. Then as we go, the number 3, it's 2 to the power of 3. Okay? And because once again it's 2, but now you've had 3 partners. So the 2 to the power of 3 is 8. But once again, you subtract 1 for yourself. So that's how you get these numbers. And these numbers were issued, this bookmark with your sexual exposure was put out by C. Everett Koop. He was a former U.S. U.S. Surgeon General back in the early in the 80s 90 time period. And you can look this up on the CDC website. But it's something to think about. It's something to think about. I know it was a little rough there in delivering this, but I just want you to know. I want you to think about what you're doing to you. And it ain't all about the hookup. There's a consequence to the hookup. So why don't you hook yourself up to Jesus, since you like to hook up? And by his Spirit, he'll give you the ability to say no when you say yes to him. Until next time, be blessed. Bye.